Okay, thank you very much, Kike Olomo Okere, for that the big stories in the financial sector. It's now time for us to look at what the papers are saying this morning, and we'll quickly go to the papers. Of course, I know, Juma, you've got all the big stories making the rounds.
Yes, I do. Now, of course, before we go to the papers, let's just quickly go on a quick break. And of course, newspaper review will be back shortly. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Global Morning on Global Television, and over now to the newspaper review. And we're going to be starting with This Day newspaper, and above it says 2.4 billionaire oil assets sale. Shell says role of SPDC JV is recommendation of Niger Delta's environment on change. That's above it there. And it says, despite clarification, article insists letting CBN take over oil say receipts violate NNPCL's legal status. And then, of course, dollar falls in power market to 1,350 naira to a dollar. Official rate at NAFEX window holds at 1,461 naira.
All right, we've got Blessing Mina, who is joining us all the way from Bios, who via Zoom to help us look at the big stories making the rounds, national dailies, and Juma, I know you've got other papers to look at. But Mina, good morning. Nice to have you join us this morning.
Good morning, global morning.
Yeah, nice to see you looking amazing as usual. How is Bios doing?
Very well, very fine.
Good morning, Mr. Mina. Great having you on the program. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. It's lovely joining you every day.
All right. We're looking at some of the headlines, and here on leadership, we're looking at above the inscription of leadership. It says Nigerian versus Angola. Pesero plays down favorite tag. Of course, kidnappers demand food items 290 million naira to rescue FCT hostages. And still on the leadership, it says again student loan misses January deadline. All right.
Yes, the sharing news we have right now is the Super Eagles. They're the one bringing some smiles to the face of
Nigeria,
the depressed or the oppressed or the ravaged Nigerians. They are the only ones now because they are winning their games and everybody is hooked up to the Super Eagles and they have a match tonight. I think it's 9 p.m. I wish everybody can join in and pray for them so that as they win, at least there will be a glimpse of hope, and they will keep trusting that things will work out well. If it's working out for Super Eagles, it should work out for Nigeria, hopefully. Then the story about the kidnappers asking for 290 million, asking for even cup syrup and rice. You can see that the kidnapping is now a basic business, and still kidnappers with all manner of boldness, asking for all manner of amounts of money, asking for even their medicals, asking for food items. So we don't know. Hello?
Yes, we're with you. We can hear you. Asking for cardigans.
Yes. Yes, cardigans, asking for cough syrup, asking for rice, asking for all manner of items. So this is, to say the least, it's just like a very messy situation where
Yes.
people that are not supposed to, people that should have been brought to justice long ago, a crime and a trade that should have been discouraged, by the swift action of our security operatives to have brought people to book and to justice. But now, because people seem to be succeeding in these crimes, all manner of people are joining in and having so much audacity, giving, calling so much high ransoms, hundreds of millions, and killing Nigerians, sitting everywhere in disarray, so much fear, so much apprehension, no, nobody's feeling safe. So this trend, as we look at the development, we really just pray that the trend will shift because it is not, it does not give hope, to a nation. It just gives so much like a shattered dream. This is not the Nigeria that we all looked up for. This is not
All
the
right.
Nigeria that we actually grew up to. Yes.
All right, let's talk something positive that will make us happy. Still taking you back to the Super Eagles. How the people of Bayelsa, how ready are they? Because the last time I watched Super Eagles trying to qualify for the World Cup, I was almost passing out. I was in Bayelsa serving then. I think I was in OD specifically then. Let's look at the Super Eagles today's game against Angola. How pumped up or how excited or how confident are people in Bielsa as regards the Super Eagles winning today?
Yes, Bayelsa is on fire for the Super Eagles. Everybody's looking up. And as you watch their games, even CAF is able to testify that this team is very strong. In fact, they call the Osimhen the Lion of Africa because the man is a tiger. As far as you have him in your team, if you do not score, he will create a goal for you. So, looking at the defense with Ekong, looking at the midfield, yes, they have lapses, there's no doubt, but they maximize their strength, and they are able to give us the result that we need. They're able to give us, they're able to bring a lot of calmness to the tension, so to speak. So we look up to them, and they have been tipped as one of the favorites to win this cup at this time. It's a game, yes, but no matter what happens, we'll keep supporting our own, and hopefully, as far as they go with that drive, the drive that we have seen them with, not resting, not lackadaisical, not lazy, but working hard, fighting to the end. If you observe very well, all the games that they have played, the opponents hardly have very clear-cut chances. No, they don't allow the opponents. So they fight on, they push forward, and they do the damage when the time is mostly needed. Yes, they have been missing some clear-cut chances, and thank God they are able to create chances. So we want to see them create and score as many goals as possible. That's the tension. Give Nigerians some some joy. Let us wish ourselves happy weekend
Oh,
by the
okay, we're
end of
still
the
on
day.
the leadership. Let's look at this aspect that says, again, student loan misses January deadline. Now, and of course, parents and students insist for the press for the timely commencement. Do you think this is heading towards another failed agenda for the masses, or we should still keep hope alive?
That student loan has come to stay. But I believe these are just teething issues. When something wants to kickstart, Nigeria has never had such before on a federal level. So it's just a teething issue that I believe the federal government trying to fine tune. So in the next few days or few weeks, I don't see February ending without that program actually starting off. It will definitely start off because budgets have been earmarked for it and plans have been made. Policy has been, fine tuned. It's just minor skirmishes here and there, but I believe it will be sorted out because I know that more so not so much have been earmarked for the loan, and not everybody is inside the allowed into the scheme. So it's not an undoable scheme. It's something that is we definitely kickstart this very first quarter of the year.
There, one of them.
Hello.
All right, let's move to the Daily Trust. Some other big stories from the Daily Trust. We've got Niger junta expels EU recovery mission members. Is one of the big stories there. Then ahead of Saturday's by-election, Plateau PDP protests omission on ballot. Then Naira gains.
Yes.
Okay. So let's
Yes.
have your take on that.
Okay. Yes. Naira had a marginal gain yesterday or thereabout, and it quickly tied to what CBN. I think on 2 days ago, so
Yes.
CBN announced that they have disbursed about $500 million to clear some backlogs. But the reality of the situation is that Nigeria is too import driven. Nigeria is too, and Nigeria is hardly producing. Like you said the last time, the country, I don't know if it's naturally or otherwise, but there has been a calculated move to keep the country at a base of little or no production. If you look at the map of Nigeria, everywhere there is production, farming, or whatever will give Nigeria an edge, there have been escalated tension in those places. I don't know if it's deliberate or just a coincidence, but Nigerians cannot produce. So because of that, Nigerians keep importing, and as we keep importing, what happens is this: the naira keep falling. So there is no intervention that can match it than kickstarting production. Kickstarting production means ensuring security. Without ensuring security, your country is not safe. The value of your currency will keep falling. There is no way out. If you like, okay, the presidency borrowed about $2.3 billion. No, if you like, borrow 10 billion. If you cannot produce, you cannot. Okay, this again of yesterday now, I think the naira gained and it's now at 1,350. It's just a marginal gain. And it's just a temporary something, because if there is no real substance to fill the gap, which is production, everybody must be encouraged to produce. If you can farm, those people that are farming must be farming. So things must be kickstarted. Okay, look at insecurity. Even some communities that can even produce, they're not able to transport their goods because of kidnapping and bad roads. So the situation in Nigeria is it's a soul that cries for help. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like people that are in bondage. You cannot move forward, you can't move backwards. You just have to stay in one corner. That is the kind of situation that you cannot just travel up and down like before. So if there is no system that can make goods to be produced and be moved freely, especially by rail, that is low cost transportation, you cannot produce. So don't talk about your currency. Your currency will be down. Don't even go there yet. You have to do these things before the currency can improve. You have to ensure security. You have to ensure business. Look at right now, businesses are closing down. Local businesses are closing. International businesses are closing. So with that, you cannot even produce. If you're not able to hire people, if you're not able to keep people to work, you're not able to produce, you cannot go further. You cannot go anywhere. Except the leadership know this. I don't know why they're not paying emphasis to this, because this is just the way forward. Escalating tension, escalating kidnapping, escalating all these problems here and there brings a country to its knees. We are grounded. That is the fact. We are grounded until such a time when the leadership is able to get it right, get the security right, get people to go back to farm, get production right, fix the transportation, then the currency will improve.
All right, a very sad commentary there, but let's move on to on the global scene now in the African continent. Let's go to Niger Republic, where the big story coming out from Niger Republic says the Niger junta have expelled the EU mission members from the country. Do you think the junta in Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali are getting it all wrong, and probably they are chewing more than they're biting more than they can chew with the expelling of the EU mission members. Do you think they're getting
Yes.
things mixed up?
The issue is this. The issue is this. If you look at many continents, they try to have a unified strong bond and a unified strong force. If you look at the European Union, you look at America, you look at Europe itself, but when it comes to Africa, we have a very weak body. If you look at the African Union now, very weak. If you look at the ECOWAS, very weak. And these countries know it. Now look at it. For you to have a strong union, you need very strong economic and military bases in each of the countries. Each of the country must be economically viable and self-sufficient and able to protect their territorial integrity. This we don't have it in Africa. What we have in Africa is survival of the fittest. So any government that come in, they try to make the system weak so that they can keep stealing, and they don't provide to ensure stability in that country. So if you look at Africa from when the colonial masters were here, you see very, very weak states, very porous, that they keep taking handouts from Europe and America. They cannot provide for their people. That is what you see. Budgets very low, education, poor health, poor. So this kind of situation is so whereby in Niger and the rest. So now they know these countries cannot even sustain themselves. Nigeria is in, I cannot describe it, it's in a debt that the next 2-3 generations are already in bondage to pay debt. So now we are talking about people that are already sold out. The same thing in many countries, many of these African countries. So now, when these people team up and take up arms, military coup, they already know you cannot stand up to face them. They already know. If you fail, they are doing their calculation. Now they are going to the far left. China, Iran, Russia, to supply them arms. So now, apart from that, they know the weakness of the African country. They are already prepared to sustain, a ravaging of their country. They are already getting arms. They already. So now they will ask you to go because they don't want EU stands for democracy. They stand for human rights. They stand for such things that military juntas don't recognize. So why will you come to the country to tell them when they want instability? They want to see. This Africa, I don't know how it is, but it's a system that people like to. It's self-aggrandizement. Everybody wants to be selfish. Nobody thinking of the unit, like I've explained. It's a small unit to big unit to larger unit. So everybody destabilizes any unit. So it's just self. Whatever a person can do to take over power, to make his own family good, to make his own village or a community, bring development there. That's what is happening in Africa. Nobody.
Oh, fortunately, now we're having a slight technical issue.
Looking at the collective.
All right, Juman, you've got some questions for him.
Yes, Mr. Mina, I have a question to ask. The former external minister, Bolaji Akinyemi, he claims that Russia was responsible for the exit of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, their exit. But of course, Russia has come out to debunk that statement. How true do you think that is? Because we all know that for every rumor, there's an atom of truth in it, one. And number two, all of these superpowers, they find any little loophole, they just come in to manipulate the situation when it's at hand. Do you think the debunk by the Russian spokesperson is in line with what the former external minister is saying, or is just one of these allegations and speculations?
The fact is this, something is playing out in the world, and the Western world knows what is playing out. Something is playing out in the world. There is a lot of alignment going on. The far left are aligning. So some people like what is happening with Burkina Faso and Nigeria and the rest, they are aligning with them. We talk about Russia, China, Iran, and the rest that don't believe in some other generally accepted United Nations treaties and norms. They don't accept it. They believe in, strong leadership. They don't believe.
Okay. Mr. Min, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
So, to that extent, Russia is doing everything it can to align everybody that is against the West to itself. The same thing with Iran. The same thing. China is a lot diplomatic because China does not want war. They want to arise suddenly before anybody is known, and this is going to happen because China, if you observe, they don't want any war. They're not warring with any party. They can demonstrate, do some, military drills, but no war. War depletes the economy. American economy is almost in tatters because of several wars and several military operations around the world. So it's going to happen suddenly. So, of course, Russia is supporting this anybody that's against the West and their principles. Yes, they may not come out and say it openly or acknowledge it, but that is what we have observed. Of course, they will align with them, give them military support, give them opinions about world politics to fester. So that's just the new world order. That is what's happening. Yes, there are two wings of power struggle, the left and the right. But the left is gaining so much momentum recently, and it has been like that for a while now.
Now,
All right, let's look at, we've got The Guardian up next for review. We've got some interesting stories there. Account for over 40 trillion naira allocations to FCT and councils. Serap tells governors. Then we've got petrol trading lift NNPC profit to $2.7 billion. And then we've got US-based professor shot dead in Osun after party. Okay, trade security concerns as Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso exit ECOWAS. All right, those are some of the stories there, but let's just look at account for over 40 trillion naira allocations to FCT, councils, and Serap tells governors. Let's see if we can get, okay, this is...
Yes, about accountability. Accountability is something that is very strange to Africa, generally speaking, or the third world or the developing world. Accountability is very, very strange, and where you try to bring people to accounting, to accountability, they will either sing either religious songs or ethnic songs. So the thing is this: the system must find a way to self-account itself, not allow people to steal in decades. You now come up one day that they should account. Who are the people? Some of the governors, maybe some of them are dead, some of them are out of office. So I don't know. Yes, but it's like medicine after death. So let the system self-assess itself, self-account itself. Before a new budget is released for maybe though the governors even generate their own funds, so it's difficult. Who will check them? It's the House of Assembly, or who that means? You don't want to check them. You don't want to sue them to court, bring a past governor. You just get an injunction stopping you from disturbing him. So that is the norm in Nigeria. So the system should engineer itself, find a way to checkmate things in real time while it's ongoing, not after years. That's my outlook on that. Then the story about Niger, Burkina Faso leaving ECOWAS, yes, I will tell you they will leave ECOWAS because ECOWAS cannot help them. They contribute to ECOWAS. They contribute to ECOWAS. ECOWAS do not contribute to them. So of course they will leave because they look at other countries like we have discussed in Iran and Russia that are ready to even give them freebies, just give them weapons at a very low.
I think the network.
Because yeah, yes, it's a network. So these are people that want to align with them. So where we are now is that Burkina Faso, they have left ECOWAS, of course, and they will leave ECOWAS until such a time that the citizens of those countries will be against military rule. There will be an uproar and there will be no, and they will go back to civil rule. So when they go back to civil rule, go back to democracy, then they will join back ECOWAS. But for now, I think it's a no. They will not join.
Let's look at tomorrow is going to be rerun and by-elections in states across 26 states in Nigeria. What are your expectations for INEC? Do you expect a free, fair elections, especially the fact that some vacant seats will be replaced both for federal and for state? And the IGP has already given directives that security agents should not go with their VIPs to election grounds. What are your expectations for the rerun and by-elections across the 26 states of the Federation tomorrow?
Yes. For now, I think everybody should learn their lessons. We don't want violence. Iran have not been the issue in Nigerian elections. Maybe there will be some skirmishes. The issues have always been the general elections that we are having, the gubernatorial election and the presidential election. So hopefully we'll have the normal trend whereby elections will be conducted and results will come out in due time. But normally this will run. I've never been so much of the issue. No, I've never been so much of the issue in Nigeria. It's the main elections that are always giving us tough times. So we expect that things should be done accordingly. The INEC should be well prepared. Sensitive material should be released in due times, and the system should work. So that's what we all look out for tomorrow.
The federal government,
yes,
the Minister of Education, and the 36 Attorney Generals of the for the states as regards the 20.2 million out-of-school children. Basing his asking the court to declare provisions of Section 2, subsection 1 of the Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, so that the federal government can pay 68 billion counterpart funding to the UBEC account, so that 20 plus Nigerian children, million plus Nigerian children can get back to school. How key is this, and should it be supported?
Of course, yes. Everything that will be done to bring our children back to school should be done. But that figure of meager 20 million, I don't think is appropriate. I believe the figure should be far more than that, because you know that before now, some cultures in some regions, I don't want to mention the regions, some cultures in some regions do not even allow the education of the girl child on the one hand. On the other hand, generally they don't even allow education, they don't allow Western education. This is on the other hand. But if you look at about the past 5, 6, 7, there have been so much economic hardship and out of school. So this is it's like a pandemic, you know. So it's a big issue. So whatever federal government can do, like this is a formula, and the other formulas will have schools that those that cannot afford can go to school, because the poverty is even too much. Even government schools that are already operational, if you go to some states, see them students learning under the trees, or the classrooms have no roof, or the floor So this is what we are talking about. That this is pervasive. This is what is prevalent in Africa, and because the leadership always self-centered, so they in the entering office they think of how much they will steal, not how much they will provide for the citizens. So this order must change and let education be given a priority, because without education, people cannot develop or sustain themselves. Education is primary. Education is key. So whatever laws can be made to make people to understand or force people to allow their children to go to school, I think it is a welcome idea, because education is the way to go.
Much for joining us this morning. I want to say a big thank you to your beautiful wife and children. Thank you. Always a pleasure talking to you from Bayelsa. And you have some last words?
Yes, thank you. Not really last words, but thank you so much for being a part of Newspaper Review today. Thank you for giving us your opinions back to back. Serious commentary there when it comes to being fact and factual. Thank you so much, Mr. Blessed Mina. I hope we'll invite you again, and hope you will honor our invitation. Thank you so much.
And I hope someday you're going to invite us to Bayelsa, because I want to have a feel of the goodies in Bayelsa.
Thank you.
All right, that has been Blessing Mina, one of Nigeria's finest current affair analyst, giving us his take as regards all the happenings on the global scene and also within the Nigerian context. We'll go for a very quick break. When we return from the break, Africa's Finest Breakfast Show continues. Stay with us.
Don't go anywhere.